It's early in the morning. It's dark. Very dark as I look across the fields this morning and contemplate the events of yesterday. I saw a friend of mine at the store yesterday. Hadn't seen, actually, it was a childhood friend. Hadn't seen since I was a child or since I was a teenager. And I asked him if he still talked to another one of our friends from when I was a child. And he looked at me and he told me that our friend had passed away and had been gone for quite some time. And as I looked at his eyes and the eyes of his sister, who happened to be with him, I just saw fear, a look of fear in their eyes, as they just kind of turned away from me, and as if unallowed to speak to me or afraid to speak to me, not for any particular reason, but just because that's the way they had been indoctrinated to close themselves off from others and to not communicate and express their feelings. And I could see it in their eyes. It was just this empty, afraid look. And as I think back on the journey that I am marking the end of this morning, it's been a 15-year journey for me. 15 years ago, when I first occurred to me that something was wrong. And I spent probably the next 12 years unindoctrinating myself, teaching myself how to think, and dispelling the falsehoods that had been drilled into me in my entire life. And once I was able to empty my mind of these things, then I began to refill it with the things that I know today. The truths that I've learned in the past 2 years. So, once I learned the truth, of course, the inevitable happened and I began to stack. During the last year, I've stacked pretty much as hard as I can. Sacrificed everywhere I could. It's now been nearly a year, and I've gotten together a pretty good stack. But I have no shoes on my feet, no tires on my car. I desperately need to see a dentist. My cabinet is pretty empty. And for a major portion of the last year, I've paid a lot of bills late. Been late on a lot of bills. In short, I've sacrificed to make a change that I hope will affect my life for the rest of my life. And I know that I still have a long ways to go. But I still find myself in a better position than most Americans, despite my low earnings. They say only 1 in 1,000 people is aware of what's going on and that if you're aware, that gives you a major advantage over everyone else. And as I look around at other people, and I realize how deeply they are indoctrinated, I can't help but feel that there's a huge hopelessness in saving them, because there may just not be enough time to unindoctrinate them and re-educate them. Many Americans now are heavily in debt, their lives shattered by the false dream, the false American dream of a career with job security, a home, healthcare, retirement, vacations. These things are all very fast falling out of the grasp of the ordinary American. There's probably 100 million people just like me, living on a similar amount of money, who either don't own a home or lost their home, have no health care, or like me had health care and lost it because of Obamacare. It's very dark out this morning. Very lonely.